A week or two ago, Frontier Developments decided to give their best Commander Exidius impression by stating that we have been doing the Thargoid war completely wrong. They even went so far as to tell us the right way to do it. And by doing so, they proved yet again that no one at Frontier Developments actually plays their own game. How did they do it? Let's find out. That's as close to a Varg Vikernes impression as I get. Well, this is the Galnet article that you want to pay particular attention to. So yeah, this was put up on the 16th of March. So, Pilots Federation alert. An analysis of the ongoing Thargoid war has been released by Aegis and made available to all the superpower and independent navies. I think that's navies, but I'm sure they spelled it wrong. The focus of the report centres on protecting systems at threat of Thargoid invasion. It suggests that anti-Xeno forces are primarily fighting Thargoid invasion fleets, which have already arrived, understandable due to the immediate risk to civilian life. However, Aegis proposes that increasing defensive efforts for systems at threat of invasion would be a more efficient way of slowing the spread of Thargoid-controlled territory. Commodore Emil Varga provided a statement alongside the report's release. The effort required to repel an invasion fleet is far higher than dissuading that fleet from entering a system in the first place. We believe that Thargoids have assumed a path of least resistance approach to expansion. Thanks to the efforts of our skilled pilots, we have sufficient evidence to show that Thargoids will not deploy a full-strength force in locations where advanced Thargoid vessels encounter heavy resistance. It does all make sense so far. So it continues, and this is the key paragraph here. The Orthrus vessels in particular appear key to prepping systems for invasion. The exact mechanisms in which they do so are yet to be verified, but an Orthrus appears to provide key logistical details about an expansion target. It is clear that invading Thargoid vessels know exactly where to emerge from hyperspace to attack local ports and tactical assets. Destroying Orthrus ships may be key to safeguarding an alerted system. And it concludes with, as an incentive to draw combat pilots to systems on alert, combat bond payouts on Orthrus vessels have been increased. Which they have. They're not as high as they were when Orthruses were first introduced, but they have gone up. You're now getting 40 million instead of 25 million. Even though when you actually take one out on screen, it says 25 million made. Yeah. But yes, this sentence here is the key one. Destroying Orthrus ships may be key to safeguarding an alerted system. All sounds like quite reasonable, you know. Instead of dealing with a full-on invasion, stop the invasion by taking out what is a much easier target. Yeah, is it really that much easier? Now, Frontier Developments didn't just say this through that Galnet article. They have said so in some of their live streams. I don't know that from personal experience. I would rather stick my head in a deep fat fryer than watch one of their coma-inducing live streams. But plenty of like other videos on YouTube, plenty of Cretinous shysters on the forums have all said that it got mentioned in a live stream go after the Orthrus is basically the plan that they are suggesting. Okay, well, let's say that you decide to do this, and you decide that you're going to put together a ship specifically to go after Orthruses. And let's also, let's work on the assumption that you actually know what you're doing. So you know how to outfit your ship, you know what to put on it, more importantly you know what not to put on it if you're going to go after an Orthrus. Before I actually start, there are a lot of people, again, both on the forums and in YouTube videos, that say there is something else you can do in these Thargoid alert systems, as well as taking out Orthruses, that help to prevent the invasion. I've not seen a single shred of evidence to back up this claim, but enough of them have said it for me to not totally dismiss it. So what I've done with this ship is outfit it for both purposes. The outfitting of this ship is actually somewhat unusual. It uses two modules that I never thought I would ever use. I might give the loadout at the end of the video. We'll see what happens. As it is, it's going to be pretty evident, how this thing has been outfitted as we go on. So let's take Frontier Developments at their word and go after Orthruses. So we need systems that are in Thargoid alert state. If you have the galaxy map set up to Thargoid war mode, as I have here, Thargoid alert systems appear yellow. So we've got this one here, the Hipparchos 23128. Well, let's take a look. Now, I freely admit, this ship is somewhat compromised. It's not what I would call an ideal anti-Orthrus ship, for one big reason. It's slow. It's an anaconda. It's never going to break any speed records. Okay, the Orthrus itself is quite slow moving, and on paper the Orthrus is really not that difficult to take out. It has no weapons, it has no hearts, therefore no regenerative abilities. It's slow moving. It all sounds like it's going to be an absolute fucking walkover. No. The main reason being that once you open fire on the things, they don't hang about. They piss off pretty fucking lively. So you've got to be able to dispatch these things quickly. Otherwise you'll get fuck all. They do call in reinforcements. The reinforcements are scouts, which are absolutely fuck all, nothing, not worth worrying about at all. There are no words in the English language that come close to describing how fucking sick I am of being dragged out of hyperspace by Thargoids. The first 2 or 3 times, then we're going back, 5 years, the novelty was there, it was great. I am now absolutely sick to death of it. They can fucking reduce the number of times it happens, surely. And of course this slowpoke thing, I'm not outrunning I'm not outrunning any interceptors there. But yeah, we're able to jump the second time. So we're here. So let's get ourselves away from the primary star and aligned with the secondary and tertiary stars here. And let's start looking for Orthruses. Now, the Orthrus signals will appear here. You can see there are two spikes. This one here, nearer to the low end, is where you'll find combat aftermath and non-human signal sources, and they are what you want. Specifically, you want non-human signal source, which is threat 4. The other ones, yeah, the other signal spike here will always be AX ship signatures. You may sometimes get, here you go, AX weapon fire, combat aftermath. So there we go. I have scanned every signal here. There isn't any of the signal type I want. Not one. Okay. Well, we got another one over here. Let's head over here and see what awaits us here. So, off to Trianguli Sector JR-WB1-0. Why would you go anywhere else? Alright, what are the odds of me getting yet another fucking hell, no. Right. Made it first time. So again, we'll get away from the primary star a bit and then we can start scanning the system. Should be far enough. Not a single one. Not a single spike of either type. Now I'll be honest, I've never had that happen before. But I think you're perhaps starting to get an idea of where this issue lies and how this demonstrates that Frontier developments don't play their own game. They are telling you, you know, if you want to stop Thargoids from taking territory, destroy Orthruses. Where the fuck are they? We go to the systems that are mapped or marked on the system or galaxy map. Yes, right, go there. That's where we could find. There's none there. And if you've outfitted a ship purely to go after Orthruses, you are going to spend hours, and I'm not exaggerating one bit, you are going to spend hours fucking going around from one system to another and finding nothing. And if Frontier Developments actually played their own game, they would know this. They would at least make some slight alteration so that Orthruses appeared a bit more, a bit more frequently. I mean, this new one that's just appeared is one that's going to be like AX weapons fire, or yeah, AX ship signatures. It's not the right type of signal. So we do have a third down here. If I cost 21,991. Now this is a populated system. Populated systems have a slightly better chance of having Orthrus signals in them, but I do mean slightly. So let's head over there. See what we get. Now I did also say, yeah, there is something else you can do within these systems that yeah, as well as destroying Orthruses, if you've got your ship outfitted for it. That alternative thing is taking tissue samples from Thargoid ships. But again, you need those signal sources to appear. I've been to 2 and there hasn't been a single fucking one. I have not yet found a single non-human signal source of any kind. Alright, let's see what we got here. Combat Aftermath. Combat Aftermath again. Non-human signal source threat 8. So at least there's a chance for getting tissue samples there. Non-human threat 4. Alright. So we finally found a threat 4 non-human signal source. It's a long old fucking way away. A lot of the time, if you find one, I mean, they're nearly always going to be this sort of like distance. But you're normally lucky if you have a minute in order to get there. Having 16 minutes, this is nigh on fucking miraculous. But even though I found such a thing, there is still no guarantee that an Orthrus will appear here. There could be absolutely nothing. There could be a Thargoid probe, but nothing else arrives. The Orthrus is never there when you first arrive. It will show up after, well, if it is going to show up, it will show up after a fairly short while. But yeah, that's if it shows up. Now, my success rate at taking out Orthruses while solo is not brilliant, to put it mildly. I've been able to do it twice. In about 8 or 9 attempts. So yeah, the problem is you can't use guardian weapons against them. Well, theoretically I suppose you can, but you've got to be fucking fast, because they will disable all Guardian modules. I think Guardian hull reinforcements are immune, but they are the only things that are. Now what I will do, assuming there is one there, I will steal the Thargoid probe, but I won't take it right away. I want to make sure that the Orthrus is on its way. It is going to show up before I take it. But actually finding one of these after just 3 systems, this is like lightning fast being able to find these. You can spend, like I was saying earlier, you can spend hours looking for these things and never find a single fucking one. And yet this is the thing that Frontier Development say you should be doing, rather than going in and attacking, you know, the Thargoid invasion force. And at least if you do that, you know, attack a Thargoid invasion, you're guaranteed to see some Thargoids. You're actually going to do something. And they're really not that difficult. I mean, the scouts are fucking unbelievably irritating. You can ask Commanders Panther UK and Falcon 711 how annoying I find scouts. Anyway, let's see what we get here. There's nothing here. Now, that could mean that an Orthrus is going to show up and drop a probe off. But it could more likely mean... There we go, right. Well, I've got nothing to pick up, so... Just go straight for the kills. Oh, fucking hell, he's a long old way away. Here we go. So he's going to start calling in his scout reinforcements in a second, but yeah, some of them have already arrived. And there he goes. So I'll empty me caustic sink launcher, but that is that Orthrus done. So we can now piss off. I'm not interested in going after yeah, after the scouts. So that's my third. I think the caustic sink has done its job, yeah. That's the third Orthrus that I've destroyed solo. There aren't any others here. Let's see we can find anything else. But you would have seen on screen there, it said that I got 25 million for destroying it, but no, it is 40 million. But yeah, see, now all we're getting is AX ship signatures, and I've been to do these AX ship signature, and all I ever get is just literally what it sounds. There's AX ships there, but they're just flying around doing nothing. And that, there you go, that's it. These are fleet carriers. So there you go, 3 systems visited, and okay, I did find one Orthrus, which was, yeah, completely unexpected. But those first 2 systems that I went to, that is much more like the experience that you're going to have. Utter tedium. It gets very frustrating very fast, and you're just flying there and not seeing anything. Even this system here, I mean, I consider that to be like successful because I found one. I took one out. That was it. But that is a successful run. So Frontier Developments are saying, yes, this is what you should do. Fly around like, you know, in this case 3 systems, take out one enemy, and yeah, that's what you got to do. Those you know, actual conflict zones where you are going to be destroying at least 10 interceptors, get the chance to take out 2 hydras, fuck knows how many scouts, providing you don't put your fist through your monitor, you know, beforehand. No, don't do that. That's boring. That's doing it wrong. No, you got to do it this way. I mean, there is a lot of satisfaction in taking out an Orthrus, I freely admit it, even though they are not hugely challenging. But it's not enough. You know, I mean, at the conflict zones, you have the chance to make hundreds of millions. I mean, more often than not, by the time you reach the actual end of the conflict zone and get the 20 million bonus, you'll have made somewhere in the region of 150 million. Then the hydras show up. If you're able to take those 2 out, that's another 150 million. You know, 50 million each for the 2 hydras, and then you get another 50 million bonus for taking out what is effectively the boss battle. So you can make 300 million, you know, at an AX conflict zone. So why the fuck would anybody say, no, I don't want to do that, I'm just going to go after Orthruses and make 40 million killing one ship that I find, you know, if after fuck knows how long searching for it. And the fact that they were to even suggest it, let alone write in a fucking Galnet article effectively saying this is how you should be doing it, yeah, is ludicrous. And you know, and it does show that they clearly do not play their own fucking game. I'm going to eject that caustic sink because yeah, it's done its bit. I don't really want any more. Only cost 10 credits per caustic sink to relaunch, to reload the thing. So yeah, it's really not that big a deal.
Approval is granted. Please proceed to bay 40. Scan detected.
The only thing that does slightly narc me about that particular Orthrus that I took out is that yeah, I didn't get a Thargoid probe for it. I mean, there could have been one left over when I destroyed the thing. I should have checked before buggering off, but oh well. I've got 5 or 6 of them on the carrier already, so yeah, 1979 repair, 24,358 restock.
Welcome to the facility, Commander.
It's really not very much, is it? And get 40 million, well, some of that will be taken off because my ship was fighter pilot, but I still got 36,800,000. I'll fucking take it. So yeah, that is not quite, it didn't quite go according to the plan, but I'm rather glad about that because it was going to actually be an extremely dull and boring video. Yeah, I know, it's hard to imagine, isn't it? But I did actually find one. So yeah, roaring success, certainly by Orthrus hunting standards. I'll go through the ship loadout there and show you what I've got. like I say, this ship is compromised somewhat. I would much prefer to have a ship that is a bit faster. But I mean, as you saw, I had absolutely no problem keeping up with the Orthrus itself. They're very slow. They are not very manoeuvrable. They have no weapons at all. The only things they can do is, you saw they got the shutdown pulse. So, yeah, you want to make sure you've got the field neutralizer. They call in reinforcements. The reinforcements are just scouts. Really not that big a deal. And their wake that they leave behind as they're flying along, that is corrosive, which is why I had to use a few caustic sinks to negate that. If you don't have a caustic sink launcher, the corrosive damage actually goes at a fair old rate. So your repair bill could be fairly high, but in fact, in Thargoid alert systems, it's very easy to get that sorted out for nothing. I'll let you find out how you do that. But yeah, so here we have the ship loadout then. So well, we'll do it in obvious order. So we'll start with the core internals. Absolutely no surprise. You know, I didn't really want to overcharge the power plant. I've only needed to do it at grade 3 with thermal spread, but yeah, I wanted to keep the heat levels as low as I could. Wasn't really possible. I had to overcharge it. If I'd put grade 5 armoured, it's not quite enough. So yeah, overcharge grade 3. Armour, of course, yeah, military grade composite, heavy duty, deep plating, thrusters. This is going to come as a big shock, yeah. 7A with dirty drive tuning and drag drives, but you never saw that coming. Or this one, frameshift drive, 6A, increased range, mass manager. Light sport is reinforced, grade 4. Distributor is charge enhanced, grade 5, super conduits. That's almost as big a shock as the frameshift drive one. Sensors are lightweight. Fucking big old class 8 sensors. You don't need long range, which is a good job because I do not want to be fitting long range on a class 8 sensor. So yeah, lightweight scanner, that really does help with your speed and your manoeuvrability. On the utility mounts, 4 shield boosters. No surprise, they are all engineered heavy duty with super capacitors. And I've got enhanced Xeno scanner. This ship does not need an enhanced Xeno scanner at all. I've basically fitted one because I could. In fact, all of my AX ships have got enhanced Xeno scanners, and there's only ever been one where I've needed it. In the case of all the rest, a regular Xeno scanner is fine. I've never needed to scan a ship in a AX conflict zone. You know, if you need to do that, you know, if you need to be able to select sub-targets while you're attacking a fucking Cyclops, when, you know, the exposed heart is glowing red, you can clearly see which one it is. You know, is your aim really that bad that you've got to have that one specifically selected to be able to hit the thing? If it is, then I would suggest that AX combat is probably not your thing. Anyway, yeah, so enhanced Xeno scanner, shut down field neutralizer. As you saw, it is essential. The moment you open fire on an Orthrus, it will fire the EMP, so you do need that. Heatsink launcher, I've got the Sirius double engineered ones. I'm in the process of replacing all of my heatsinks with these Sirius double engineered versions. You get 5 heatsinks and the mass is the same as a stock level. For me, it's no brainer. I want this on every ship. Finally, the caustic launcher, or caustic sink launcher, which I've engineered to, with the ammo capacity. So I've got 8 caustic sinks there. And again, as you saw, if you're going to be following the Orthrus, flying behind the thing, you're going to need these. Or you're going to need, some pretty decent armour to withstand the corrosive damage that you will be taking. And believe me, you will be taking a lot if you follow one of those. Right, on to the hard points, and we have class 4 beam laser, which is efficient with thermal vent. Couldn't really fit long range on this class 4 laser, too power hungry, so I had to go with efficient. I've also got 2 class 1 frag cannons, both have grade 4 high capacity and multi-servos. I wouldn't have said they were necessary, actually. They are not doing a vast amount. They do help in bringing the shields down a bit quicker, but I do mean a bit quicker. You'd probably be fine without bothering with those. And then we have 3 class 3 and 2 class 2 AX missile racks. The fact that I've got 5 of them tells you one of the modules that I never thought I would use, but I now am. These are the serious double engineered ones, and as far as I'm concerned, if you have any realistic expectation of taking out an Orthrus while solo, you've got to use these. The enhanced ones are not enhanced enough. It can be done. I have done it once, but it was really close. So I would rather just avoid the risk of it being really close and just be able to take out these fucking things ASAP. So, right, the high capacity magazine is not that important, but it also has the rapid fire mod. That's the thing that makes the difference. So your damage per second is significantly better than the damage per second with like the regular AX missiles or the enhanced AX missiles. So these are the ones that you really want to use. And yeah, I'll say I've got 3 of the class 3s, 2 of the class 2s. Damage per second is identical for the class 2s and class 3s. In fact, almost everything is identical. The only difference is the ammo clip size and the ammo maximum. Other than that, they are exactly the same. So if you can only fit class 2s, because you've chosen a different ship, it's no big deal. Class 2s are every bit as good. I mean, are you really going to need 256 AX missiles to take out an Orthrus? If you do, well, firstly, I'll be amazed that it hangs around that long, and secondly, yeah, you need to work on your aim a bit there. So with the optional internals, so we start with, this is one of the modules I never thought I'd see myself using. 7A Universal Multi-Limbic Controller. But there is a reason why I have this. I'll say, the other alternative, if you can't find any Orthruses, but you are finding a lot of non-human signal sources in these Thargoid alert systems, you go there will be an interceptor of some kind, so you want tissue samples. Now you could just use a Xeno multi-limbic controller. With that you can fire out 3 research limpets. If you're lucky you may get 1 sample back. With the 7A Universal you can fire out 8 of the things at the same Thargoid. You should get back 3 or 4 tissue samples, no problem. Obviously they need to be able to survive the trip out there and the trip back, and your ship needs to survive hanging around waiting for them, but yeah, that's by the by. Active range also is 9.1 kilometers. You don't have to get too close to the Thargoid. I say that. I mean, the things are, as soon as they see you around, they're gonna immediately target you and come after you. So yeah, I mean, you can try running away from a Thargoid when you're in an Anaconda with a top speed of 278. That's a challenge and a half, but I mean, you can certainly give it a shot. But yeah, that is what I am using for obtaining tissue samples. Not too many surprises with the rest of the loadout. So class 6 bi-weave, which is reinforced grade 5 with high cap. Shield cell bank 6A, specialised boss cells. Several, actually I think these 3 are the only hull reinforcement packages I've put on this thing. Heavy duty deep plating. So I have my 32 ton anti-corrosion cargo rack. I've also got a 16 there, so I've got 48 tons, and I'm not going to take any corrosion damage from any of my cargo. I thought this was rather essential, really, because obviously anything that I pick up in this ship is going to have like corrosive damage. So yeah, you need that. If you don't have a 32 or a 64 ton anti-corrosion cargo rack, just take a couple of the 16 tons. 32 ton capacity will be fine. So I have a couple of module reinforcements, class 5 here, class 4. They're not Guardian ones for obvious reasons. I don't want them to be rendered inoperable. Kind of speaks for itself. And I have a class 2 there as well. And here we have the experimental weapon stabilizer, the class 3 version, and that is the other module I never thought I'd see me using, but I had one, and I figured 5 AX missiles should really help with taking out Orthruses. As you've just seen, it does. So yeah, it's not bad. I'm not the biggest fan of these things, but I can't deny they certainly help this loadout. Then finally we have the class 1 detailed surface scanner. You know exactly how that's been engineered. So that is it. That is the loadout. Now I am not saying by any stretch this is the loadout you must use. Oh, if you don't use this one you're doing it wrong. No, that's for cunts like Exegeus, right. You can maybe use it as a guide if you really want to. But on the other extreme, I'm not saying, right, copy this one parrot fashion, there are a number of players I've seen who do this. It's not always mine, although some of them do this with my loadouts. But they'll look at other videos, see the loadouts, and just copy exactly right. My loadout, as is the case with everyone else who does YouTube videos for this game, is geared towards the way I play the game. If you play the game even slightly differently to the way I play it, there is a very good chance this loadout is not going to work. Not for you. It's not the fault of the loadout, it's the fault of you putting on a loadout that you've seen works for other players, but not one that you've got no idea if it's going to work for you or not. So don't just copy it parrot fashion and say, okay, yeah, that's the one I'm going to use now. Why? Oh, because I saw it on YouTube. No, you need to try out your own loadouts. Use weapons that work best for you. The only recommendation I say that I would really say, you really need to use this is if you're going to build an Orthrus hunter, which you're going to be using, solo, you've got to use AX missiles. Whether you use the regular ones, the enhanced ones, or the serious pre-engineered ones, doesn't matter. You've got to use those. If you're playing it solo and you're using AX multi-cannons, they just don't do enough damage. They don't even do close to enough damage. it's a slow, steady stream of damage, but it's not rapid enough. Now, if you're in a wing of 2, let alone 3 or 4, yeah, that'll be fine. It will certainly you know, help, especially if the other player has got AX missiles. If you're in a wing of 3 or 4, the chances are you can have like all 3 or 4 ships with AX multi-cannons. They will probably do the trick. You know, fucking, there is a, you know, you're going to have at least 12 multi-cannons firing on this thing. So yeah, it's going to feel it. So yeah, the only thing I would say from this build that I would consider really important is, yeah, use AX missile racks of any kind. So there we are. Yeah, a video that didn't quite go according to plan, insofar as I actually was able to show an Orthrus, and I was not expecting to. You know, I wasn't expecting to even see an Orthrus signal source, let alone actually find one in there when I arrived. So yeah, wasn't that exciting. Now go away.